I'm Matt Nelson with Peachtree Rose Marketing, representing San Antonio podcasting, and this is While Supplies Last, the marketing podcast, and it's really also kind of beauty bound-ish. I'm here with my today co-host, Crystal Rubio of Beauty Pro Bookkeeping.
Yes.
She happens to be our bookkeeper at Peachtree Rose Marketing, but she's niched into the beauty space, and I asked her to come on because we're talking about something that affects everything that we do.
Yes, both of us. But yes, you did talk about the HITS Act.
So, yes, the HITS Act, or Help Independent Tracks Succeed, is an act that was signed by Congress July of 2025. And basically, it allows creators, independent creators, businesses to deduct immediately up to $150,000 in qualifying sound recording expenses per year. So naturally, as a podcaster, as a fellow podcaster, as a business that has a flagship core service in podcasting, I was what an opportunity for folks.
You know, as you're reading all this, everything that's coming to mind is, you know how many questions I'm going to get about this?
You're welcome. Yeah. Well,
no, I mean, it's cool to know. I would have never even known about it had it not been for you. But seeing everything that's a write-off, because that's what's going to come down to. It's the write-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me.
So it's cool. So I've known podcasting, and we've really niched into video podcasting because that's the best way to market it. But podcasting in general is just such a phenomenal marketing channel that you can repurpose for other things. But this just really takes the gloves off from a tax perspective, which is more your lane. You're always the numbers.
Yes.
Defense and offense. I'm like offense when it comes to marketing, defense when it comes to getting people out of bad marketing. But you've been our defensive wing when it comes to numbers. So what are your thoughts in terms of what this means?
Honestly, I think it's good because for a long time, and even when I'm doing my own books for podcasting, it's always just advertisement cost. But at the end of the day, when people look at that, how much of that are they actually going to let me write off? You know, because advertising, you could only advertise for so much money. And so this is actually huge because I could deduct $150,000 of podcasting. Yeah. One of the cool things, if I am going to skip ahead a little, because one of the cool things that stood out to me and that I was telling you was the paid guest stipends related to recording. Because now this kind of opens a whole new thing up where if you want somebody to be on your podcast and you know they're huge, you could fly them in. And it's a write-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll feel like that episode of Schitt's Creek.
You know what's really cool? That's funny. You know what's really cool for me? I just had a conversation before this came on my radar with one of our mutual clients that you referred to us via marketing. Yeah. And they have someone who's in a parallel business just in a different geographic area. So they're not competitors.
Okay.
Same exact business model that they're going for, but not competitors at all. And she was asking, man, it would be so cool if I could have a conversation with her and get some insights. Yeah. And I was like, that would be phenomenally cool. Let me help you with some questions because I've got some questions from a marketing perspective on what's working, what hasn't, that kind of thing. So we can really just dial it in. And then I was like, you know, it would be better if we flew both of y'all into a common space and y'all did an interview style thing and y'all just did some co-marketing with that. Yeah. But this is like a great way of doing that. That's a write-off all around.
Yeah. And it's so cool because for you on being a studio owner and marketing, you look at this obviously, and well, me as your bookkeeper, I also see all the things that you can write off rather than I'm like, Matt. Yeah. It's more of like, oh, okay, well, you could write it off.
Stop 100%. Using your personal credit card on Amazon.
Yes. All that, you know? Because now, man, it's a lot of stuff that you could write off.
It is. Because a lot of this stuff adds up. And I've seen people try and go into a podcast on their own and start it from their basement and then go buy a bunch of equipment to find out that it's the wrong equipment and then try and deal with everything else, which is why we exist, right? Because we try and lessen the burden for that. But for podcast studios specifically, one of the reasons I wanted to get this out as well is because we're building the bridge as the San Antonio podcasting brand. But for podcast studios, there's really a way that you can help your existing clients or new clients or their tax professionals. And that's by kind of tiering out or layering out what's what.
Okay.
Because the IRS, it seems like they are specific to what is covered and what's not covered. So things like video, lighting potentially, certain things, marketing, promotion, all of that isn't necessarily covered under the HITS Act. But what it is covered are things like studio rental costs, things like the acoustic paneling, all of that stuff that adds up. So if you charge somebody for rental of your studio, if you charge somebody for utilization of sound equipment, if you charge somebody for editing that's not just centric to video, but also incorporates an audio element, you can itemize those costs. And what we've done is we've actually gone through all of our current monthly subscribers who subscribe to access to the podcast studio. We're typically doing the post-production editing, marketing, and distribution. So we've actually outlined 3 different things that we're doing and separated what's audio, what's video, post-production, editing, and what's marketing and distribution. So there's a certain percentage.
You're going to make my job easier.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no second guessing. Okay, so now this is because I know somebody else is going to have the same question. You said the sound paneling, right? So does that mean, even though I don't record podcast in there, but I do record my videos in there, that would be a write-off?
That's a great question.
Right?
This is a time worth mentioning. Neither of us are legal or tax professionals.
At all. No.
Crystal is my bookkeeper. She's a phenomenal bookkeeper who's going to finish her journey in becoming a certified public accountant or a CPA. But for your specific tax questions on the HITS Act passed by Congress and how you can best utilize that.
Don't trust us. I'm just kidding.
Ask your tax professional. Ask your CPA.
Yes.
But I would venture to guess on that opinion as a marketing professional. I feel like if you're putting up acoustic paneling and you're doing regular content that is audio content, there's probably some leeway there in terms of the expenses related to the equipment, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because
the
acoustic paneling is acoustic paneling. It's there for the audio part of it. Yes, it's got an aesthetics component, but that's not why you're buying it.
Yeah. Because that makes sense. Now, I mean, looking into all this,
Yeah.
And now looking at the color grading and editing, just because we recently talked about it, I was like, wait, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep.
Okay. That is awesome.
So professional studios typically already use high-end HITS eligible equipment. Like we use the Rodecaster Pro 2 for a lot of our audio. It does a lot of the work for us, but on the post-editing side, we work with Nick Chamberlain sometimes from Every Word Media. He's a phenomenal sound engineer and has worked with us on the actual sound engineering part and making sure that the tracks sound perfect and clean. But typically, professional studios will have those kinds of things. It's just make sure you're working with a studio that's now itemizing and helping do the groundwork for your tax professional or for the person who's doing your books.
Yeah, because that'll help a lot. One of the things, too, I know that when you think about creating a podcast, your initial thought, like you said earlier, is let me go buy all this equipment. Because, man, I remember I thought about it, and this was 4 years ago that I wanted to create a podcast. And I sat there and I researched and what was, a good microphone, a good headset, like everything. I remember thinking like, fuck, this is going to be expensive. Like, it's not going to be something that's going to be cheap. So even if I could afford it now, I still would not build my own podcast studio. There is no way in hell. Like, I like coming in and not having to worry about shit. Like, I like coming in and everything's set up. And editing wise too. Like, I tried it twice, 12 hours each time, phone editing.
Man, just try doing it in 4K. It adds up.
That was just my phone. Me trying to match like the sounds to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm never doing that again ever in my life. Yeah. So guys, don't try to do this on your own. Just come to Peachtree Rose Marketing.
But if you are doing it on your own, make sure you work with a tax professional who can help you write it off under the HITS Act and delineate it from your other marketing expenses, whether or not you're doing stuff as an individual or as a business. And if you are doing video and audio-visual podcasting, as a marketing channel for your business, just know that there's different things that you can write off in different categories per se, that have different benefits. So,
for example, the sound. So does that mean now that this is happening, the way that you're going to invoice it, you said, it's going to be audio and then video? Or how is that?
Yeah, more or less. You could categorize it in 3 things that we do.
Okay.
Because not every studio does the same thing.
Okay.
So some studios are rent our studio only and access to our equipment kind of a thing. Some studios might do the post-production and editing, and here you go, do with it what you will. And some folks might be full service, where they also do the distribution and or marketing and distribution. So we're covering the audio, video, and marketing element of it. Yeah.
Okay. So then obviously I would put your stuff as the audio being the HIT Act. Podcasting.
HITS.
HIT.
Yeah. Helping independent tracks succeed. HITS Act.
HITS.
Yep.
Okay.
But
como chingadazo. Sorry.
What this really does is it opens up the opportunity for people to reinvest, because one of the things in the past 2 years of really niching into the video podcasting space, in addition to seeing people who try and do it on their own and waste a lot of money on that because they realize it becomes a job, in addition to that, we see people who invest money but then don't know what to do with it, and they only have a certain budgeted amount to invest, where they could be reinvesting more into actual distribution and getting the stuff in front of the right audience. So things like your video podcasting, your short form social clips, your paid ad campaigns, newsletters, emails, guest booking and content syndication, all of the professional marketing services.
Trying to figure out where you were at, sorry.
All of those are not necessarily covered under the HITS Act, but that's all stuff you can reinvest into by saving money by the immediate tax deduction in the same year.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, and just know, like now just looking at it as a bookkeeper, know that the paid ad campaigns, that's part of your advertising. The marketing services, that's also part of your advertising. So there's some things that might not be included in the HITS, in the HITS Act, but they're included as part of your advertising.
And let's say it's an individual, right, who starts their own personal podcast. That's a thing. But what if they also own a business? I think this might be gray area, but I think it might be worth exploring, because I always suggest to people, hey, you may not have a sponsor yet or a paid sponsor for your personal podcast or your opinion-based podcast, whatever it is. But if you have a business, sponsor yourself. Sponsor your own podcast. Hey,
you've been telling
this
me that.
podcast is brought to you by Beauty Pro Bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Right? And that is a form of marketing at that point, right?
Okay, that's true.
So just saying.
And a lot, like, this isn't just for, I think, for podcast creatives or businesses who do podcast, but also like all those YouTubers who some have really great information, some have not the greatest. But this is, I mean, if you're already making money and you're considered an influencer or creative, now you have a bigger write-off, because those people make a lot of money, like Mr. Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Dang. But their production cost?
Out the roof. Yeah, he spends thousands and thousands and thousands on a thumbnail.
Yeah. It's so much money.
Yeah.
I was listening to, oh my gosh, I forgot her name, but from Teen Mom, and she was saying, one of them from Teen Mom, and she was saying how much a production costs just for one episode of podcasting. And I was like
15,000 or so, probably. Yeah.
I was like, how in the hell? But I mean,
yeah.
Farrah.
It all adds up.
Yeah, I'm a Farrah.
Farrah Fawcett. not Farrah Fawcett.
No. Oh man. Okay. Sorry.
Someone's going to stumble onto this video because it's going to be search engine optimized and it's going to say Farrah Fawcett, and they're going to be so disappointed if they made it to this point.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We're not talking about Farrah Fawcett.
Anyways, I don't even know who that is. I just know the name.
Farrah Fawcett?
Rings,
She was like
somebody who's famous
actress from like before I was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. From like back in the day. Not in my day.
Not in my day.
No.
But yeah. So for all you beauty professionals out there or folks who are swamped with QuickBooks or whatever you're using for your bookkeeping, and you realize that you need an advocate and somebody to help you play defense on your numbers, Crystal from Beauty Pro Bookkeeping is always ready to scale up and does the best at playing defense on the numbers to help you save money.
I try. But also, like, okay, so right here, make sure to track your qualified expenses only to sound recording. So listen to that part. Only sound recording, not everything. Also, don't just go out on your own. Come and get, help from Matt, because I tried doing it on my own. I tried editing on my own. You need to hire someone who knows what they're doing, because if you don't, you're going to be spending a lot of hours trying to fix something that breaks a lot.
Yeah, so for all of you aspiring podcasters, creators, audio folks out there, or video, hopefully, if you're looking to get more information on this, check out sanantoniopodcasting.com. And for all of you studios, all of you local podcast studios in the San Antonio area, if you want more information on how you can get your subscribers, your clients, the best for their money while helping them save money, give us a shout out, DM us, visit sanantoniopodcasting.com. We'll have a little bit more information. We'll plug you in with some CPAs, some tax professionals, bookkeepers who will also help you help your clients.
Yes.
But yeah, anything else you'd like to say, Crystal?
No, just don't ask if everything's a write-off.
So, Crystal, is this a write-off? Yes.
This is a write-off, guys. So come and join. What? It's just, I think...
Come and join San Antonio
Podcasting. I know, I was... For real, though. Like, if you need to... I do always recommend anybody who wants to start a podcast, and if you're in the San Antonio area, this is a place to be. And, he has a lot of projects coming up that are so cool.
We enjoy it.
Yeah. It's fun.
And if I didn't say it before, I know we're closing out, but some of the why in this... Congress passed the Help Independent Tracks Succeed the Hits Act in July of 2025 as a way of leveling the playing field in terms of taxes and tax breaks for the individual and for small business and for creators. There used to be specific tax breaks for the big box television crew companies and big audio recording studios. And now this one's actually here for the solo creator, which is cool.
This is awesome because it's a lot of the times we think that as small businesses, we don't have the help that we need. But with all the little things like this that people don't pay attention to, let's focus on the positive stuff too, because this is the stuff that we like, that's going to help us all, I think.
It's a big one.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time on While Supplies Last. And don't forget to check out the Beauty Bound podcast with Crystal Rubio from Beauty Pro Bookkeeping.
Bye.
Bye.